This is a video about why I don't monetize my content. And I want to just say right off the bat that I support any creator that makes money with their content. This is not about me feeling superior to anybody else or that my motives are more pure. That has nothing to do with it. It's my choice. So it's like if you like butter pecan ice cream versus bubblegum ice cream. It's just my choice. So a bit of my background is that I was in multi-level marketing for 5 years, and I was also in a coaching cult at the same time. So 2 cults simultaneously for 5 years. If you're familiar with multi-level marketing culture, everything is monetized. Your social network is monetized. Every time you interact with anyone, you're viewing that relationship as a way to make money. Every time you go do a new activity, you want to learn how to crochet, you want to, finally decide to get certified for scuba diving. This is another opportunity to meet new people, build those relationships, and then you can recruit them or sell them a product. Everything in my life for 5 years was geared towards turning it somehow to making money. Now, content creation was something that I did a lot of when I was in multi-level marketing, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than sending out cold messages, prospecting messages. Hey, I see that you live wherever. I know we don't know each other, but would you be open to taking a look at this business opportunity? I'm expanding in your area. If not, no big deal, like sending hundreds of those out at a time. I much preferred creating content and then having people reach out to me. And I also just really love to create content. It filled like this creative need, like something that I could put my energy into, and I could explore and play and not care about views. That was something like views or likes. I could just play and create and connect with a few people that understood my sense of humor. As I began to wake up from multi-level marketing, I went on to TikTok, and I got on TikTok kind of in the early days of TikTok, not as early as some people who came over from Vine, but early enough where I was one of the people that was able to grow pretty quickly, and I got a significant following. And I loved the freedom that TikTok gave me. I could create whatever I wanted. And because multi-level marketing at the time, they were really against being on TikTok. It was considered foolish. It was considered, well, there's just children on there. So I was kind of going against the grain, and I felt this freedom that I didn't have to monetize everything. I could be myself. I could be really cringe. And I could be cringe with other people who got my sense of humor. At the time, that was what TikTok was. It was such a cool place. There was so much creativity. There wasn't this, this format and like having a call to action and an intro and have to have all these elements and now highly edited stuff. It's not like what it is now. When I first got on, especially as I'm starting to wake up from multi-level marketing, you basically drop your phone, make a ridiculous piece of content, and you could laugh at yourself. It just wasn't a big deal. It really freed me from the social pressure to gauge the quality of your content based on a metric that is basically just served by an algorithm. So when I left multi-level marketing and I began speaking out, because I was the first person in that coaching cult to really expose things, I knew that I was going to be uncovering really sensitive information, and I didn't want to profit from it, like financially. To me, it's just really gross. Like there's just no way I would want to be getting money from that. And that's not the only reason. There's also, for me to be able to create content, I don't want to be hampered by things. I want to be free. I want to be able to make very long content, very short content. I want to make content every single day. I want to take 3 months off and not make any content. When I started to look around on YouTube and see a variety of different content creators, I noticed that inevitably there would be discussion about how YouTube and how they would monetize their content. They'd have to address this. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing against like any creator, because most creators on YouTube, they're trying to make some money, and that's fantastic. For me, I would see creators who don't swear, and they would say, well, now I can't swear until however many seconds into a video, or now I need to swear in order to recalibrate the algorithm or something. I'm going to play a clip where somebody else is swearing to kind of offset some metric. I mean, there were so many times where I would see a creator basically being forced to address some issue about their monetization has been removed, or why this video is no longer monetized. And I'm like, I want to cut that piece out. I don't ever want to have to be forced to make content about why my content is being monetized or not. I just want to speak out against these cults, against multi-level marketing. And I knew in order for me to be able to be as free as possible to create, because I have this experience now from being in multi-level marketing for 5 years, from, breaking away from the pressure to be very, this is the way you're supposed to create content, like finding my way on TikTok, having fun, building a whole other community there, and feeling so free. And because I was Canadian, you couldn't make money anyway. There was no way that there was like a creator fund for Canadians at the time. I still don't think there is anyway. So I thought, for me to be as free as possible, I want to remove that component. To me, it's like a prison. That's what it's like for me. I know that that's not like that for other people. I know that for virtually everybody that I see on YouTube, they don't experience that at all. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. I don't think so. I'm sure there's got to be other people out there who feel similarly to me. I will not monetize my content. Now, I've found that YouTube can place ads on your content even if you don't monetize your content. If you never unlock it and apply to the program or whatever, or even if you haven't yet fulfilled their requirements to monetize your content, they can just put ads on your content to make money from. And I knew, I'd heard this could happen. I never looked closely into it because, what are you going to do? Read, again, all these terms and conditions and just go through it and think, well, are you going to make videos on YouTube or not? It's the platform, right? But I'd heard that they could do this, but I've been so surprised that it happened with me because I have such a stance against monetizing my content. And somebody reached out to me and they said, Julie, I found 4 ads in 2 ad breaks on your most recent video. And I couldn't believe it. So I made a post on Instagram. I shared it to my stories, and I also made a community post on YouTube. And then I also made a pinned post on my most recent video. And people were telling me, yeah, I'm seeing the ads. I was surprised to see them. I thought maybe you reversed your stance on this, but everybody has been very supportive. They're like, you go, you can make money. That's great. And what I want to know is how it is that these advertisers, maybe they're paying YouTube to be like, well, we want to get our ads on here. And is this like the low budget option for certain advertisers? We're going to use people's content and put our ads on there to make money. It's just gross. And the irony of me spending hundreds and hundreds of hours making content for free. I want to give people the opportunity who don't have YouTube Premium to just watch uninterrupted with my content. And now that's been removed. It just really pisses me off. And it is what it is. I'm not going to capitulate. I'm not going to monetize my content. Other people are going to profit from my content, whether it's YouTube or an advertiser or whatever. The irony of that, just like what happened when we were in multi-level marketing. But I'm not going to change my mind. This is something that is it's a deep personal conviction for me. It's also a way for me to make amends, to donate and volunteer my time to speak out against these predatory companies, these frauds, the years that I was spent in. You can't put a value on the harm that I was unknowingly a part of in other people's lives. And I feel it's a duty. I feel it's something that I need to do. This has nothing to do, as you can hear as I'm telling you this has nothing to do with other creators and how they do their channels and how they make money. This is something that it's mine, and this is how I'm choosing to go about my advocacy. Another thing that I wanted to mention, like emphasizing this point about freedom and the ability to create whatever kind of content I want, is because I noticed another thing too, is that if a video would get a lot of views, then that would be considered a successful video. And I knew from being on TikTok that that wasn't true. That community has always been, for me, the clearest indicator that a video or a piece of content is doing well. And what I mean by that is the number of comments, not from bots, but from real people. And then how they start talking to each other within a comment section. That to me is that's the golden ticket right there. I also noticed with creating content that once you have that community, there's a safety built into that. There's this understanding. This is how this part of the small, tiny little part of YouTube, or this area of the internet, this is safe here. This is what we do here. This is the sense of humor. You know what you're getting. And it's something that you can't it doesn't translate to how many views a video gets. And my goal in every piece of content I make is if it reaches one person. It's if it's just reached one person ever from the first time I started speaking out. And I've already achieved that. And so now my goal is each time I make a piece of video is if it helps one person. And it might not help them right away. It might help them years from now. So by having the freedom to make, however, I could make a 7-hour live stream, which I've done before. I can have a video that's a short, that's like 6 seconds. I can make a longer piece of content, like a recording, maybe an interview, 3 hours. I can make an hour video, and I don't care about the views. Like, I really don't. Do I want my videos to be seen by more and more people? Not really. I believe my content will be found by the right people. Like I said, I'm after one person. And just because a piece of content goes viral, it doesn't mean that it's even landing with the people that I would like to help or have that content reach. Now, it could be argued that raising awareness against all of multi-level marketing, you want everybody to know. But I've seen it in my experience, especially being on TikTok with having videos go viral, it doesn't mean anything. So you get millions of views. It's like, well, what does that translate to? I want to help people wake up and exit a cult. It's pretty niche. Especially multi-level marketing. A lot of people are still in denial that these things are actual businesses. They're in stages of waking up. So it can be argued that by monetizing your content and, playing the game of whatever platform you're on, then your video will be shown to more people or something. But I don't want to play that game. I'm very clear on the way I want to speak out and why I do not want to make money from it. Another thing is I would feel really dirty and gross for accepting money for some pieces of content. And now that could be countered with, well, you could just turn off the monetization for those pieces of content. But the reason why maybe other people would come to look at my content is because of this more salacious stuff. And some of this stuff is my trauma. I don't want to monetize my trauma. I monetized my trauma when I was an MLM, and I used it to recruit people. I don't think I'm going to ever be able to be at the point where I go on social media anywhere and I do anything to monetize it because of my experience. It's tainted. I think it's tainted for life. But what I can do is I can create content how I want, when I want, the way I want, and not be dictated by whether I get however many views and how much money, whether the money is going to be given or whether it's going to be taken away, whether I swear too much or whether I don't swear too much. And the carrot is always dangling. And then there's these terms and conditions and reading through all this stuff. I don't want any part of it. It's hard enough for me to learn editing software. I make a mistake. Sometimes there's like a blank black spot in the middle of the video. It only lasts a few seconds. And if you might have seen it and you're like, is the video ending? It's just, I actually made a mistake. But that's another thing. Like what I learned with TikTok is sometimes the mistakes end up being like part of your best pieces of content. It just happens. It's like it's magic. It works. And for me, that's how I need to work. I need to be that spontaneous, the willingness to just like play in the sandbox, see what works. And if I make a mistake, who cares? Just post it and see what happens. I think that's everything that I wanted to say. There might be some things that I think of after I've done this video, but I wanted to just share that with you because I know there's been so many people that have been really supportive and encouraging of me since I started on YouTube. And they've said, just monetize it. Who cares? We don't care. Some people have ad blockers, and that's a good idea. If you have an ad blocker and you see an ad on if you see an ad on my video, skip through it. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not benefiting it. I don't know who the hell is benefiting from it. So you're not doing me any favors. You're not supporting me. I'd rather you watch the video, enjoy it, and then don't buy a product from a multi-level marketing company, or you're just like, I'm good. I'm going to be able to say no the next time somebody approaches me for an MLM. Or, maybe you just feel inspired enough that when you see somebody struggling to take their shopping cart back push it back, you take it for them. That's what I want. I don't even ask people to like or subscribe my videos because it's not about that. Like for me, I'm a stubborn as fuck Gen Xer, and I've got like a chip on my shoulder about this. I will not monetize my content. I just won't. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching this. And this might show up on YouTube. I don't know. It might just show up like this because, I just don't give a fuck. Okay, thank you.